Okay, so I'm in Blender 3.5, the latest version, and this is for Bart. And Bart, you had a question on your UV mapping. So looks like you're trying to create a pod race concept here. I see your background. That's good. I like the way you set up your background references. And if I click on the pod, it looks like I'm going to just target one pod. Over here in your modifiers, you have, I believe you have a mirror. You do, right over here. Let's actually pull this out a little bit. We got a mirror and a subdivision on surfaces. All right, so let's go in and take a look at this. What I want to do is I'm going to turn off everything but the pod. So I'm going to target the pod, Command I. All right, and then hit the H key to turn everything else off. So we're just seeing the pod. Target the pod again. Go to the mirror and the subdivision surfaces, and I'm going to turn them both off so I can see the raw nature of your modeling here. Okay. All right. So I can't really see what you did with your modeling, so I am going to go inside. By hitting my tab key, go to my edit mode. Okay, now we're inside our edit mode. I'm going to hit Alt Z, and I've got my X-ray view, and I'm looking at this a variety of parts in here. I'm not sure if they're all necessarily needed, but let me hit Alt Z again to go back, and I'm going to get in a little closer. Let's go ahead. I'm going to hit the L key because it'll select all selected. Okay, and I see you have them in several sections here, and I also see you have some edges that are extended off here. I'm assuming you meant to do that. That's part of the design. So I'm going to take that off there, and hit the L key. So it's the same one replicated. I'm going to hit the L key again. All right, I'm going to hit the L key on the next one. I want to see exactly what's happening here. You've got another large one here. All right, so I think I see what you're doing. I'm not sure. I've got another way to approach this, because you've got them all broken up in a whole bunch of individual discs, right? So each one of these is a separate disc, and you're replicating them all the way down the line. And I think there's a much easier way to do this. I think you can model this whole thing as one complete airtight object, get the exact same visual results, which is going to make your UV mapping a lot more easier. So let me share with you what I mean. Let's go take a look at your UV maps, okay? So I'm gonna come right up here, go to the UV mapping room, UV editing room, and let's hit A key to select all. And you can see you've got a whole bunch of parts here. I tell you what, I'm looking at this thinking that this could be done a lot easier, and I'm going to share that with you now in terms of UV mapping. So if we select each one, I'm going to come over here and just hit the L key. I'm going to go turn everything off. Now all of your UV maps went away because I didn't give it the option to make sure that they're always visible. So on the top left hand corner, you see your two vertical arrows right up here. If we click them, and they'll always show. So if I click anywhere, it deselects it. So if I want to know where this particular ring is located, hit the L key over that ring, and we can see it right here. So we're seeing individual little pieces that you've done, split up on the map. I think I've got a better way of handling this. So let me just share that with you now. Let's go back to modeling mode. I'm going to actually recreate this for you, and then I'm going to UV map it, before your eyes. So I will hit the 3 key on the keyboard to select that object, hit the Shift D to duplicate it, right click to send it back. I'm going to use my transform widget just to bring it on over. I'm going to give it some space here, put it right over here, okay, and I'm going to just recreate what you've got. Let me go over to, I'm gonna hit the control and then 3 on the numeric side key to go to side view, and let's kind of zoom on in. Hit the E key for extrude, and I'm going to extrude this all the way over, and it looks like it stops right about there. And I'm going to zoom in a little closer. Alright, so I'm going to make sure this is aligned as accurately as I can with yours. Okay, there it is. Okay. From here, I'm going to go ahead and scale it. So S key for scale, and pull it on up to match that right about there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the Alt Z to go to my X-ray mode so I can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to go Alt Z. I'm going to go back and forth ever so often so I can get a good view of what you're trying to achieve here. All right, now I'm going to take a look at yours. It looks like you've got, let me take a look at, come over here. Yeah, it looks like it just goes straight on back. Now I'm going to extrude this straight on back, and it looks like from the side I'm going to be seeing 2 lines here. So if I come back, go to my side view, I want to bring this back to this second line. Alt, there we go. And I'm thinking I'm going to go take a look at this again. So Alt Z, get out of this, rotate it a little bit. Right, so I want to bring it out. You take a look at this here. In the back, there's 2 lines, and I'm gonna. There's 2 rear lines there. I'm gonna go ahead and go back, Control 3, and then go back to there. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it all the way back to this one here. Right, I'm just gonna chance it. So Control Z. E for extrude, and let's go all the way back to there. I think I may be a little off at the top there, so let me go back real quick, hit that S key for scale again. Oops, that's a little bit off. Let's see what's going on here. Ah, that got switched around. There we go. Cool. All right. Now S key, scale it back out. There we go. Let's hit the period key on the numeric side just to get a little closer. And I'm going to just try to match it as best as I can right about there. That looks good. Now E key again for extrude. I'm going to pull it all the way back to there. Alright, I think that's where it should be, and I'm going to double check that one. So I'm going to pull it back, pull it over to the side, Alt Z. Yep, it's going all the way back to that second line there. Now we're going to extrude that again. Okay. Let's go back to our side view. I'm going to pull this all the way back to here. And again, I'm going to go to the second line again because this is an extrusion. It looks like just a single skin extruded outwards. So Control Z. There we go. E key for extrude. We're going to pull it back to there. That's pretty good. All right, let's pull it on back. E key for extrude again. It's attached to the mouse. Right click. S key for scale. Exactly to match yours. As best as we can do. Okay, there. Now, E key to extrude to the base with approximately where yours ends here. Now, I'm going to hit S key for scale again to match your right there. Okay. We're going to do this again. Same technique. So E key to extrude, right click to set it back, S to scale, pull it to there. So we're going to make this one solid object. Okay. E key to extrude it, pull it to there. Now from here I'm going to, let's kind of rotate this around a little bit. From here I'm going to inset it. Alright. So I'm going to hit the I key and inset it in just a little bit like so. Now how much to bring it in? Let's actually go back to my side view on the keyboard. S for scale, and can I see that? Okay, I can't really see it very well. I'm going to escape key to send that back and bring it on over and take a look at from the side view here. So the 1 key, so it looks like I can bring that back up a little bit. So S key for scale and match what you've got there. Okay, so that's another way to handle it. Let's go back to the side view. Okay, and it looks like, let me kind of see exactly where I am there. I'm at the very end of that, and now once I brought that in, hit the E key for extrude. Now that's pretty high. Now if you take a look at it, I really should have extruded that in a little bit more. So I will hit escape key, and we're going to bring this in a little bit. So S key for scale, bring it down a little more, probably right about there. Okay, that looks all right. E key, there we go. Bring it to here, right about there. Because remember, this first, the front of this first line here is basically an extrusion of an edge. The actual solid piece is right back where this sits. All right, S key for scale. We're going to match your angle there. That looks pretty good. Okay. And then from this point, E key for extrude again, right click, S for scale, E for extrude. Let's see if I can keep it visual. If I go to I for inset and pull it down a little bit. I'm not quite sure if that's far enough, but anyways, we'll take a chance. So E key and extrude. So I did need to bring down a little bit more. So what I'll do is I'm going to lock it here, Command or Control plus, so I can see the whole thing, and then S key to match it right there. Okay, that looks good. All right, now I'm going to just select the outside. I'm in face editing mode, so I just want to tell you what, we'll just rotate it this way and make sure the number 3 key is targeted, which it is already, and grab this interface only. Okay, so far it's looking like yours. There's always going to be one airtight piece. Once again, go to the side, and from here I should be able to just pull it on out right about there. All right, let's do this again. We will do E for extrude, right click, S for scale, right about there. E for extrude. Okay, I'm going to turn it a little bit, and I'm going to match the exact size of this here. So I'm going to go to my face editing mode, I for inset, and I think I want to match that there, right? Let me see, where am I? It looks about right. Okay, let's go back to the side view. Okay. And let's extrude that out. So that is a little bit smaller than I intended. So no big deal. Control plus, S for scale, and just match it. There we go. That works. Go back to my front view. Okay. Go back to the side here. And I think it will just extrude it right about there. Okay, so we got another little bit of a lip coming out there. So E for extrude, S for scale. E for extrude. I for inset. I can't see it from the side. Very difficult to see from the side. So I'm going to stay on the side here, side view. Now, E for extrude. As you can see, I'm way too small. I pulled in too much here. So if we're getting close, let's go ahead and hit the Control plus to select the next set of polys next to it. So S key for scale and bring it right about there. Okay, that looks pretty good. I think I can probably use my scale from the side just to, there you go, that works just fine. All right, now I can deselect the side with a control and just drag and just deselect those sides so that only that front face is selected. E key for extrude, S for scale, E for extrude. Okay, I'm going to extrude again. S for scale, pull it on up. E for extrude. E for extrude again, right click to set it back, S for scale. E for extrude. I'm going to go right about there. Okay. We're going to do an inset again. So I for inset, that'll pull it down a little bit to there. I can barely see it. So I'm going to hit the E key to extrude. You can see I messed up. No big deal. Control plus to select it all. So that way I know exactly where I am. S for scale. It's pushed it in the back here a little bit. So I'm going to just push it forward to make sure that face is going to be flat. That looks good. If I pull it back a little bit, control and drag over those faces. I don't need those. Let's kind of fill this in here correctly. All right, let's go to E to extrude. We're almost there. E to extrude again, and then S for scale. Match that. E to extrude. And we're going to inset again. Not much of an inset, huh? So I and just a little bit of an inset. All right, let's hit E for extrude. Oop, that was just a little bit too small. Control plus. S, scale it out. Okay. I'm going to push this forward, and why is because I want to make sure this interior is going to match. It's going to be flush back in there, right along that little edge there. Okay, I want to keep that edge as flush as possible. You look at all the edges; they're going straight down. So if I kind of take a look at that, I'm matching your design exactly. Okay, so Control Z, Control R, Control 3. So Control or Command key on the numeric side, 3 on the numeric side. Takes me to side view. Control, and let's wipe those away. And from this point, looks like I'm just going to go straight across, right? Pull it on out. You've got a whole bunch of little things in here. Let me see what, and I don't think I need to worry about it too much. Go right about to there. Right about to there. All right, so from here, I extrude that on in a little bit, okay? Control 3 to go to side view. Hit my E key to extend it out. It's a little bit too big, so I'll just hit the Command plus again. S key to scale and match yours. Okay, and I'm going to make sure those edges are flush back there. It looks like they are. I didn't really need to move it much. Alright, Control key, deselect those edges, and just go grab this one and bring it to there. Okay, so let's make sure that's aligned more accurately than I have here. Good, looks good. We're almost done. Okay, so another I to extrude it in. Okay, and E to pull it out. Oop, way too small, huh? So Control plus, bring it on back, S key. See, just to match this here, and then use my transform just to make sure those edges back here are going to be flush, which they are now. Alright, Control, deselect those, pull it on out. Okay, so there is an interior in here I need to respect. We're just about done. There's an interior in here I need to respect. Right in there, that comes on in. So I'm gonna eye this one, okay? So pull it to the side a little bit. I key for inset to there. Okay. Once done, I'm going to extrude it in. So let me go back to my side view, and let's go back to X-ray view. So my Alt Z key for X-ray view. E for extrude, and pull it on back and match yours. Okay, there we go. Pull it on around. I'm going to hit the I key again. Pull that on in. Let's go to this view here. See what I'm doing? Now it's giving me another shape to pull out of there that I need. I'm not sure if the shape is, hit the I key, is accurate, so I'm going to Control plus again. It's like that entire thing. X-ray view. Let's go back to the side. Alright, so it's a little too big. No big deal. Just hit the S key and just scale on up like so. And if it pushes in the back a little bit, then just flatten it out like so. Go grab that. Let's do this. Let's go grab Control, deselect those edges, place that on right about there. Okay, just about there, right? And let's go ahead and give this an extrusion. Guess we could have beveled this too, but it might be easier. Just go give an extrusion here, and then hit the S key and pull it on down. There, done. All right, there we go. So there's a piece. All right, now why am I doing this? All right, so I looked at yours, and you've got a whole bunch of individual little rings that you just duplicated and you threw in there, right? To try to mimic the texture, and probably less time you could have done it this way, where it's all airtight as one complete piece. There's no geometry, no cutting into it. Adding these little boxes here is no big deal. Okay, and let's take a look at this. And you also have a subdivision surface modifier on this one. So if I turn this on, all right, you can see where yours is staying tight. All right, and that's why you did those individual rings. You figure if you do the individual rings, they're going to stay tight, right? And on mine, as you can see, they're not as tight, but it doesn't matter because I can make those tight. So if I turn off subdivision surfaces, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this one so I don't, if it accidentally crashes, I'm going to put down here Steve Final, and then Steve at the end. So I know that's the one I was working on. All right, so we can make these just as tight as yours. It's no big deal. So we'll start with this one in the front. So we're going to do that with edge loops, right? So Control or Command R, click and hold that edge. hold that edge right there. So we're looking at the edges. We're going to put edge loops on either side. That edge can be a little closer in my opinion. So double G and click and hold and push it. So double G to kind of push it a little closer. Right about there, works good. All right, so control R. Remember, it's going to be perpendicular to whatever edge that you put it to. So now that edge is held right there. Let's go to this edge. Command R. Hold the edge there. Okay. Command R. Hold the other side of the edge right there. So we're basically adding, it's like adding vice clamps to ensure that edge maintains its shape. So Command R here. Command R here. Pull that on up, and I'm going to do one more. It looks like I have an extra loop in here that I didn't need, so I'm going to double click that and double G, and I'll use that as an edge loop to hold that in. Go to the other side. All right, so Command R, and there we go. Okay, there it is. All right, so as an example, that's going to be accurate to your vision. So if I turn on, let's kind of get in closer here. All right, so if I turn on subdivision surfaces, let me deselect everything. Okay, and just let it, there it is. See, it's held absolutely tight. So even this front edge here, the same thing. Let's keep it in subdivision surfaces so you can see what's going to happen. So Command R and pull that on up. See? Okay, I'm gonna turn off subdivision surfaces. It's giving me a little bit of problem with memory here. So Command R on the other side and give it another edge to the opposite side. Okay, there we go. And if I go ahead and turn on subdivision surfaces once again, give it a hot minute. See, it's holding it on there pretty well. All right, if I turn them off. Now, I'm going to undo that one because I think I was too close on one of those on the end. Okay, so I'm going to go grab this here, Command R, pull that to there. So I want to give it a little bit of a rounded edge, but I want to keep it tight. So how close these lines are is going to determine just how rounded it's going to be. So if I turn on subdivision surfaces, and there it is. Okay, so it's held down tight together. And if I want to mimic what you've got over here, it's just the same technique. Right, I'm going to turn that off. Command R, hold the edge. Command R. Now I've got another loop here that I don't think I really need it, so I'm going to hit the escape key and just double click this edge loop and move it to the edge. So if I get in closer, double G is a shortcut for sliding an edge. Okay, now Command R, hold this edge, Command R, and bring another one to the other side. There we go, to hold that edge. Okay, approximately. And that will maintain its shape. And you've got yourself an airtight situation. I'm going to go ahead and add the subdivision. See, there we go. So it's completely held tight. So the idea is that you're gonna replicate that all the way down. Now, what I recommend that you do before you start adding all that detail, let's go ahead and start splitting this up so that we can UV map this properly. Now with yours, you have a whole bunch of individual rings in here. Let me go to this number 3 key on the keyboard for face editing mode. Hit the L key. See, and you got all these individual rings. They're all individual geometry pieces. Okay. Actually, before, let me kind of replicate how you would do the squares there. So I'm looking at your squares right here, or the insets in here for the square insets. I'll just do one for now. All right, and I'm going to add a edge loop to help me. So Command R. Let me go to my side view, Control R, go to my X-ray. There's my edge. Okay, so let's see, double G, where do I want this? I think I might want this right about there. Let me see. Yeah, I think so. So I'm going to add one more. Command R somewhere right about there. Let me go to my X-ray view, go to side view, double G, something like that. So I've taken the liberty to model these on in here. So I just selected 3 of the poly faces and extruded them inward, right? As you can see here, I've also given some edge loops to lock down the edges of this rectangular piece, so that if I come over to my my modifiers, right, and if I add a modifier, let's say some subdivision surface to it, let's do so now. There we go. I'm going to give it 3 levels of view and 3 levels of render. You can see how it's rounded off, with the exception of these edge loops that I've added on there, and the same thing here. Okay, the others I kept open just so that you can see the difference. So no edge loops around the edges on these others, but edge loops here. All right, and gave you a nice little clean edge. All right, so if I come over here to the modifier, and I turn this aspect on, what this does is, right over here on the subdivision, this icon to the far left, if we turn it on, it turns off the preview to give you a preview cage of what you had before you applied modifier. So if I click it, you can see the little cage there, the little dark edges there that gives you just an edge preview of what you had before you applied your modifier. If you don't want to see that, just go to this icon. All these icons to the right hand side of subdivision title there. Just click that one immediately to the far left, and that way you're only seeing the results of the modifier and not the original. And you can see, there you go, you can see exactly what's happening here. I can come up here and turn off the overlay view so you can see exactly what it's going to look like when we do a 3D model, if you want to do a 3D model print or a 3D print. Okay, so you want to be careful a little bit, because the edges can start to mess with your smoothing. But I think you get the point here. So now let's go ahead and turn this off. Go back to our original design, and let's apply our UV mapping here. All right, so to create my UV edge, I'm going to the top view. Okay, and I think all I need is one edge on this one. So I'm going to go to the number 2 key on the keyboard to edge editing mode. Double click this edge here, and it's going to be an edge loop all the way around the top. All I need is one along the top. And I think I'm going to I've got an open face here, so I don't really need an edge here, and there's an open face here. Interesting. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave that alone. So right click, and I am going to mark seam, and that adds a seam across here. Now, if you want this to be enclosed, all right, so select it, hit the F key, right, and that'll enclose it. Okay, but for now this will be fine. I want to keep it open. I think it'll make a better UV map. So with it open, It's sliced. It's going to unwrap it. So I need to unwrap. Let's go to our UV unwrap. So right up here, UV editing. Okay. And you can see it looks like it's unwrap. It started to unwrap automatically. So let's go ahead and select all. I'm going to hit the U key, which is a shortcut for unwrapping, and hit unwrap. And there. Okay. So that's what it does from default, by default. If, on the other hand, what I want to do is make all these things as linear as possible. All right, so I want to align these as perfectly as I can. So I'm going to right click on an edge, hit align auto. That's going to align this, perfectly, so I'm having 90-degree corners. Go to the opposite side, align auto. Go to the top edge here, align auto, and go to the bottom edge, right click, align auto. Now this should line up perfectly parallel to the edge of my screen, top and bottom. So and it does. Okay, and it does. Now go to your face editing mode, face view, select that face. All right, so that's the one that I think that's the one that I have perfectly aligned. If I have any doubts, then what I'll do is kind of bring it over to the edge. Yep, that's it. That's it. Okay. Now, A key to select all. Now, if you take a look at this, the original auto-aligned shape is much lighter. So you're telling Blender, I want you to do something with everything else that's in orange to match the one that is lighter. To do so, right click, follow those active quads. So if I click it, boom, look, there's your UV map. Nice and clean, nice and straight. No mess, no fess. So here, we can do more. All right, so there we go. So that's looking great. I'm happy with it. We're going to bring our texture in next, right? So let's select it. Now this is inside. Let me go back to the modeling. I'm gonna hit Command S so I don't lose anything here. Let's go back to the modeling, and we're gonna hit. Let's see. I think Alt H to bring everything back. All right, because there's my original. That's the original there. Okay, and this is mine here. All right, so I'm going to select this one, A, right? Now they're both selected because I hit A, so I don't want to do that one. I want to hit, now watch what happens. I'll come over to yours, and when I hit the L key, letting the mouse hover over each section, you've got all these independent little sections once again, right? So here on mine, hit the L key, and it's just one selection. It's matching exactly what you've got, or pretty close to what you have, but better selections or better modeling. Now, which helped me with getting much better UV mapping. Now I want to take this out of here, right? Because it's inside the other engine. I probably should have modeled it outside, but I wasn't. I was just kind of got carried away and started modeling based on your shape inside the actual object of your shape. So to get it out of here, select it all. P key on the keyboard for part. Make it a selection, right? Hit it. It's now it's its own part now. So hit the tab key, go to object mode, and select it. There it is. It's its own separate engine. Engine 1 and Engine 2, or Engine 1 there, and Engine 2 is the one I just created. Okay. Now we need to, now you can put in your mapping here, right? So if I come over here, And let's go over here, hit the Z key on the keyboard, and let's go to material view and see what it looks like. There we go. So because mine was modeled inside your material, right? It copied your material with it. Right? And there it is. Right? You got this nice clean copy. And of course you can bring the and your UV map once again. If I go to UV editing, there it is. Okay. Let me come back. I have to go to edit view. So go to edit view, and there it is. Right now I can alter this map. I can stretch this map so it comes all the way across. So hit the A key here. And I suppose what I could do is, let's see, go to the UV here, and let's go look for Pack Islands. Did a pretty good job. Let me go ahead and kind of move it on over to the side here, and then come over to here to my scale and just scale it on out like so, just to fit inside there. Move it on over. Okay, that works. Let me come over to the side. Or better yet, here, let me just kind of bring the window back again. Z key. Go to my material view there. So if there's a problem inside here, in that these shapes, these highlighted shapes, looks like it's part of your texture. I'm not quite sure why. Something's going on there that shouldn't be going on. It should be only your texture coming through there. If I go to rendered view, so Z key, go to rendered view, let's see what it looks like. Okay, yeah. Using an HDRI background. So I've got to come in here and figure out what's causing these little light areas. So there's something is attached to the UV mapping that shouldn't be at all. I've had a problem like that before, but normally if I start scratch from a new document, that just goes away. It never happens. So I probably need to just kind of do it from scratch. You've got it on yours a little bit too, which is kind of bizarre. But anyways, I think you get the point. All right. So you got a nice clean UV map just based off of having a much cleaner modeling technique, right? And plus, Blender's UV mapping is wonderful. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful. And if it wasn't, let me know. Which I know you will. But this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this one. All right, I'm going to post this into Discord and let everybody enjoy it. Hopefully everybody will pick up something that they didn't know before. All right, Steve Burns from ChromeIllusion.com signing off.